Hey everyone, so today on She Does Credit, I'm here with Carlos Salinas.
That's right. How you doing?
I'm doing amazing. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me back. The first episode was good. We had fun.
Yes, we did.
Yes, sir.
So now we're in beautiful Long Island.
Again.
Yes.
Right.
I'm from Long Island, in case you didn't know.
There you go.
You should be able to know by the accent.
Okay. I was born and raised in the city, so I'm still a tourist, but I live out here now, and I'm loving it. You know, years and years in the city. You know, once you live in the suburbs, it's the best sleep of your life. So, you know, things change. Yeah.
I have family from the city. It's
There you
like,
go.
listen, I'll be honest with you. Love the city and stuff, but I can't parallel park. I wanna go into my driveway. Nobody steal my space. I gotta move the car for, you know, the sweepers and stuff like. I can't do that.
When I lived in Washington Heights for a little while, right? So when I moved uptown, it was, you know, I had a car in the city because where I was moving from was an anomaly, right? Where there was parking frequently. You could find parking. Yeah. When I moved uptown, I couldn't find parking. It would take me literally maybe about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Yeah, to find one space for the night. So the
you
time.
Need a lot of patience.
Yeah.
And a workout.
That's it. So the time it would take, how I made it make sense to me, the time that it would take to find parking in the city was the same amount of time it would take to drive out to Long Island. So I live in East Setauket now, but hour and a half, not even an hour and a half, like maybe an hour and 10 back to visit mom. You know what I mean? So, which is not terrible.
But listen, we're here in Long Island.
That's it.
We're in a beautiful background of this pool. So let's just imagine, let's talk about the American dream.
That's it.
Or just the dream overall of owning your own home.
That's right.
Not having to answer to nobody but the bank because you got to pay your mortgage.
That's it. Yeah.
But, you know, just owning that property, investing.
100%.
Getting ready, you know, just, you know, I know when I used to rent, it would be simple things like.
Sure.
My landlord was a piece of work, but not going to get into it in this episode.
Yeah.
Anyways, just like having your own thing. Like I would love to just come home if I want to dive in the pool.
That's it.
If I want to, you know, lay around, walk around, bake cookies, 2 in the morning, whatever the case may be. Let's talk about the dream of owning a home. And when you told me the mortgage for this house. Guys, like honestly, sometimes it works out because
right.
Actually, not sometimes, most of the time, because that mortgage is cheaper than rent.
Correct.
And this house is humongous.
Correct. So, when it comes to the American dream, for people like myself, I come from a really tough neighborhood in Harlem. So, I was born and raised uptown. You know, ripping and running through the streets. The '90s it was the wild, wild west. So, you know. I discredit, like the school system was a school system, you know, I didn't know any better. So for me, it was a little different because people in the neighborhood weren't having the conversation of ownership. We only knew of ownership by watching like TV, like the Cosbys, you know what I mean? Who's the boss, you know, Married with Children, you know, those TV families always had homes that they lived in. So when you're surrounded by people that rent, all you're going to have is the kind of rent conversations that you should have. Oh, they increased my rent. Wow, okay. What is it going to do for you now? Nothing. I don't own the property. So, it's, you know, it's different now, fast forward. As far as the American dream, a lot of the school systems in the city don't have financial literacy to show you and teach you how to either save up to buy a home, what you need to qualify for a home, credit, debt to income, and financial money management. And you know, those are the important things to know moving into a huge investment and purchase like this home.
When you told me, guys, when he told me, see in this house, it's a 5-bedroom, 3-bath colonial.
That's right.
And a cul-de-sac.
That's it.
Look at this pool.
Yep.
If we could look at this. Guys, the mortgage on this, like I'm telling you,
Yeah.
You can't even find a 2-bedroom for that, or a
Correct.
3-bedroom.
Well, in the city, comparably, yeah, like in the city.
Or even some places out here.
Correct.
So,
correct.
You know, what does it really take for that to get that home?
Yeah.
Discipline,
That's
a dream.
Right. That's right.
To work towards that dream.
That's right.
But let's talk about it.
I mean, work ethic is everything. You know it. You know.
Yeah.
I believe in. I believe hard work works. You know what I'm saying? The more effort you put into what you do as a craft, and the more attention you give it, it's gonna work. You know, it's almost, you know, not being able to pursue your dreams because you're lazy or you can't get up off the couch or you're on your social medias all the time. You know, just focus. You know, focus on you. Do for you. I had to do for myself. I moved out, but I didn't sell out. You know what I mean? So for me, that's big because I can go back to the old neighborhood and still be myself, but my living surroundings have changed because now I have a son. So my son is 6 months old.
Wow.
I don't want him I didn't want him to go through the things that I had went through. Correct. Yeah. Single parent home, I didn't understand what protection was until I held my son in my hands when he was born. Yeah. So a lot came with that. I've never had an intense workforce or work ethic since my son has been born. I'm on overdrive right now. I got a new company. I started my own team. Yeah.
Okay, so if she's saying that probably went to overdrive.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And everything.
Yeah, and it works out. It's good. You should want to strive for better. You should want to level up every moment you get. Don't stay in the rut, man. You know what I mean? Like it's not worth it. At the end of the day, you want to live, harmoniously, live well and prosper. White picket fence, kidney shaped pool.
Everybody has their own definition.
Oh yeah,
like some people, they might want to live in Miami Gardens.
Oh
and have their colorful house and a garden here and
absolutely,
stuff like that. You might want to be in California and you have like those homes that I can't describe it, but it looks like Barbie's Malibu dream house. Everyone is different, but it's like the biggest thing in obtaining these goals is knowing and following the steps.
Correct.
Being determined, hitting those goals.
Correct.
Let's talk about, first off, you need your credit.
Hello.
That's me.
All day, every day. And with that, a lot of it falls into debt to income, money management,
right,
and financial literacy. It starts with your numbers. Unfortunately, we live in a society where a number determines how good of a package you're going to get. Right. So if I have anything, if you could take anything away from this, please work with someone like Alyssa that's going to help manage
not someone like you work
correct
with me.
Work with her. Work with her field. The fact that you have somebody that focuses directly on those numbers to help you level up, I think is something that a lot of us, especially for communities of color, we are not awarded. So we appreciate you. Girl, we appreciate that profession. I mean, everybody's credit needs to be good,
It's crazy that 3-digit number determines so much.
Correct.
And, bad things happen to good people,
Correct.
So we're not to judge or anything like that.
No. Because I'll give, I think I had mentioned this on the last episode where I was here. We had mentioned the FHA qualifications.
Yeah.
Right? I'm qualifying homes. I'm qualifying people for homes with a 580 credit score. You know what I'm saying? And not to say that's good, but really it depends on your situation. As Alyssa just put it, you don't need 20% down. I'm Mr. You don't need 20%. That's my tag. You can put as little as 3.5% down, and 580 credit score minimum, depending on the home, depending on your finances, depending on your credit, is how we're going to package you together in order for you to take that piece of the pie, to own something. That feeling of ownership is nothing like you've ever had before in your life.
This is like the biggest purchase of your life.
That's a fact.
Something else I want to say is the biggest thing is that it doesn't matter how much money you make all the time, it's how you manage it.
That's a fact.
You know, speaking from someone like myself
Yep.
that makes money.
She get the bag. All right, I got you. I got you.
It's about managing it because
No doubt.
especially as an entrepreneur where I
Yep.
have money coming in,
Yep.
there's some days I might hit a slow roll
Right. Or
you
slow
know,
month.
Everybody has their times, everyone has their moments.
Yep.
And I've had to realize personally when I first got into my field, I'm kind of like, I don't want to say trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Right.
But a lot of people, they associate wealth with certain things. You have to have these designer things. You have to look this part, which I understand that you have to do.
Let me ask you a question. But with that being said, how many of those people have assets? How many of those people own homes?
Not, but they live good.
Yeah, I mean,
but
yeah, they live.
They invest.
Yeah, they do. But, they though. You know what I mean? Like again, I hate to use this as an example. Me personally, it's okay to look nice. It's okay to It's okay to have nice things.
Like the people that I know that I could say that about, they how do I say it? They live nicely.
Of course.
I can't say that they're homeowners.
Right.
But they do live nicely. I know that they have investments, but I had to learn.
Right.
Personally, because it's like now when I see a goal, like for example, I'm investing. I'm like, okay, I want this bag. How much is this bag?
Right.
But this could have been towards my investment.
Correct.
I could have saved, and I've had to learn to work smarter, not harder. Like
no doubt.
even doing things for myself. You know, I could, cutting down on things.
Correct.
You know, it's just about reaching that end goal. So again, there's people that I've met that don't even make that much money. I'm like, how are you saving? Like, what is your rent? Like, what? Like, what? Like, I'm trying to make sense of it.
Right.
But it's really money management along with this. It's not about how much money you make, it's how much money you keep. Because I've met people, listen, there's people that's won the lotto. There's people that are millionaires. They didn't keep anything.
Right.
It could be bad investments, the way they spent their money. So if anything, it's opened up my eyes to a lot of different things. And with that debt to income ratio, let me tell you something. Even with your credit, that accounts for 30% of how your credit score is calculated.
Yep.
You're at that brink because the banks and lenders want to see, we're giving you this, can you maintain it? Can you finance it? Can you discipline yourself?
What's the number? Where should people usually kind of hover at? 8 to 10? Okay.
Is like
primary, right. Minimal.
20%. Like when I tell people pay things down, I'm like, let's get below 20%.
Right. And that's credit usage.
Right. You have to be. You have to think about the interest rates that could take you overboard. Right.
100%.
So the biggest thing with that is how you financing and managing your money. Yes, you got approved for a $10,000 credit line. You're maxing out.
Right.
You got to pay that money back somehow plus interest. And it's like, how are you really maintaining and disciplining yourself? I've had guys, listen, if certain things didn't happen to me, I wouldn't have been in this position. And I'm still learning. Yeah. There's times I have to be like, but I credit myself to say, oh, you see what I didn't even realize I did that.
That was a pun.
I did a pun on words.
Right.
I give myself credit, or I pat myself on the back to say like, hey, you recognize the issue, you took control over it. Right. Everyone, goes through that, but to get a home, especially in today's market, you just have to be prepared. You also have to be prepared. God forbid something happens. If you have something saved up, if you have an emergency fund, you have months worth of bills, at least 6 months worth of bills saved up. Guys, it's like the littlest things add up. But it's not necessarily cutting out, getting a frappuccino every day and this membership and that membership. That stuff helps, but it's about your money and managing it. I had to cut back on certain things. Certain things I realized I could have done myself. Like, I'll give you an example. Go ahead. So, I had my girlfriend do my makeup, so I supported it. My mom did my hair today, so shout out to my mom. Shout out to Mom Dukes. That saved me money, right? I did my nails, but stuff like that would have cost me hundreds of dollars. Right. Yeah. I me personally, I think that little things help. Yeah, little things help, and you don't have to kill your pockets. So for me, now that I'm living the way that I live, and the knowledge that I've acquired over the time of being a homeowner,
switching my career to a real estate broker or agent. It's agent for now. By the time this airs, I'll probably already have finished my broker's license. And moving to the area that I live in, a lot of the stuff that, and of course having my son, the most important things that I've taken away with the knowledge that I've had within the time of living in Long Island these past 4 years, not health insurance, money management, right? Life insurance, big, and insurance to protect the assets that you've gained over the course of, whatever time that you've come to acquire them. So, long story short, you might not need those Jordans that's going to cost you, $500. You might not need the Louis belt that's going to cost you $600, $700. You might not need those Louis Vuitton shoes. If you have it, yeah. But if you have it, right. Yeah. I would tell you, if you have it, boo-boo, do you. Live your best life. But be responsible at the same time. You know what I mean? That money, how it allocates, and what those things cost could set your family for the next 20 to 25 years. Those things that little cost. Could have been invested into something else. If you guys have it, I know with me personally, I said this before, I have a goal, I work towards it. 100%. I'm like, all right. But it's like not all of those material possessions still filled it. Because I'm like, I have so many goals to hit. No doubt. So, and we're all growing. We're all learning still. Yeah. I don't pretend to have all the answers. I know what I'm good at. I keep people around me to make sure that they're advising me on how to move, what to focus on, what to invest in. I couldn't have this conversation with 25-year-old me. I couldn't have this conversation with 18-year-old me. I was not mature enough to be able to have this conversation with younger me until I was put in a position where it was sink or swim. You know what I mean? I call it a lot of it has to do with, I call it the W-2 mentality. I'm a 1099, that's how I file my taxes. W-2s, file them a different way as well. You W-2s get a check bi-weekly, monthly, however you file. 1099s, we don't. We don't have the luxury of, expecting, a check in the mail bi-weekly or monthly. So
unless you have your business set up a certain way.
Correct, but yeah.
But either for the most part. Listen, especially like this is the biggest thing I'll say with entrepreneurs. We were just talking about this, honestly, and filing your taxes because there's so many write-offs, and I'll have like accountants to discuss this at another time. But the biggest thing, especially with entrepreneurs, save your money, invest. Be smart, because you could be making all this money one day, then boom, it happened to me. Like
100%.
A while back, I was, in a bad business relationship. Okay. Everything was good. Yeah. Then, boom, stop. Gotcha. I had to work myself back up from nothing. Yeah.
It made you appreciate it more, though, no?
It made me appreciate it, but it also made me realize I could do bad all by myself.
100%.
So, it made me realize to save and invest my money smarter. No doubt. The people I was keeping up with, it was just like appearances. Not to say on my end, but it's like, I mean, not on my end, but I mean materialistic wise. I'm like, we're worried about the wrong thing. It's like, yes, it's so nice to go out, take nice pictures. Sure. Be all dressed up and stuff like that. I want a house to come home to.
Please don't do it for the gram.
I want to invest. I want to hand something down to my future children and my family. Like, it's like, it's like what people would put so much material possession on. Right. My personality and my charm. But just me as a person, just me being me has gotten me into more doors. Or just authentically being me has gotten me into more doors and connecting and networking and working with people than any of that. So that's what I mean about keeping up with the Joneses. And I'm like, dang, like, we discussed the car that I want. We discussed, like, what, I'm looking to have a goal to. No doubt. But the biggest point in today's episode that I would say is that you have to keep focused on your goals. Even if that means you have to, let's say your goal, you get a house, you decide to buy yourself a designer bag. Good for you. No doubt. But you have to have do you, boo-boo.
That's
but
it.
You have to have these goals in place to obtain them. You have
Correct.
to have the right people around you.
Correct.
To make sure it's a boom, 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 following that. Even with my clients, I'm like this. Listen, we gotta do this. Come on, you on top? And I'm like, I wish I had someone like you on top of me the way I'm on top of you.
Well, I tell you like this. Going back to discussing the people that I keep around me, right?
Right.
For, let's say, all my insurance needs, life insurance, claims, everything like that. I call my guy the insurance guru. His name is Kevin Span. Definitely shout out to Kevin Span. All financial questions, taxes, LLCs, please. If you have anything to do with business, start an LLC, but start it for the right reasons. Make sure, because when you have an LLC and you are 1099, Uncle Sam will tax that ass, and it will be something that you can't get out of if you're not able to financially support yourself. But talk to a CPA. I'd recommend Lou Soriano in Smithtown, another great person to talk to. And if you're interested in purchasing a home, my name is Mr. You Don't Need 20% with Douglas Elliman, Carlos Salinas. And for your mortgage needs, I would tell you to give Andrew and Evan Russell a call at RCG Mortgage.
I have to connect with them. There's a few good.
Oh, 100%.
There's people that will say they do their job, but it's like, I like to know that my people are being taken care of. Like, when I call you, we could talk.
That's a fact.
Like,
all
I
the time.
need to know they're taking, because it's
all
like the way I care about my clients, it's like a family member.
No doubt.
And it's like, I'm like, so what's up? You didn't answer my phone call?
Yeah, and
you have referral, you could at least say thank you.
My bank is good with that. I can't.
I'll connect with
them. I can't speak. I speak volumes about my guys. I'm extremely humble to be able to be working with them. I've vetted and I've worked with all types of bankers and mortgage brokers. These guys are on it. They treat me with respect. They know what the deal is. It's love. It's never really all business. It's mostly love. And, I love it. Evan picks up his phone. I had a conversation with him last night, 11 o'clock. I was talking to a banker. Another real estate agent called up my guy. Like, yo, this is what we need. Just got the deal done today. Moving the contract. So those are the kind of people you want in your corner. The people that are going to support you and push you to be the better part of you.
So let's talk about getting a house.
Okay.
So we're going to end off with this. So with getting a house, right?
Yes, sir.
First off, you need that goal. I'm getting a house.
That's
pray
right.
over it, manifest it, whatever you do. If you got,
speak it into existence.
Speak it into existence. If you got cut out pictures of a house and post everywhere, put it in your car, your apartment, your mirror,
no doubt.
Whatever. Keep focused on that goal.
Yep. Something
else, make sure your debt to income ratio, pay down whatever debt that you have. Make sure you settle whatever debts you have. Something else I would say, credit.
Okay. I want to talk to you. I want to ask you. I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
I want to ask you a question. My method is knowing your status. Right?
Yes.
Know your status. That's my method. If you know you owe some stuff, you know damn well you own some stuff, right? If you are in the process and even have the inclination of wanting to go down the path of purchasing, I tell people to know their status, right? So, let's say you call RCG Mortgage to know your status. It's a starting point. They run your credit. They tell you everything you owe versus everything you make versus everything you need to pay.
Right.
That gives you an idea of the direction you need to go,
you
right?
You always do need to know your status.
Correct. And I think working with a credit specialist will help you obtain that status, that starting line. So now you are at the starting line. You can only go up from there. You know what I mean? So that's me personally. Is that a good method?
I would say that too, because anybody can say I want to buy a house,
right?
And you don't even qualify.
That's a fact. Yeah.
So that's what I was saying. Like everything that we need to take care of,
right?
Definitely making sure that you have all your ducks in a row. Working with professionals.
Correct.
Anything else you want to add?
No, I if when it comes to the process, I would just always tell some people, know your status, because it's not a hard journey, but for certain people, it might take a little longer because there are things that need to get resolved before you can take the next step. The one thing you can't run from when it comes to credit, money, and finances, you can't run from your past. What you did in the past is going to catch up to you in the future, and it's going to stagnate you from taking those next steps to level up. That's my personal opinion.
that is true. Yes, like certain things.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like when they try to run your credit, it's like you got this debt you gotta pay.
Right.
Like,
Little
the
20.
house is on the line.
$20 from Blockbuster. Blockbuster been closed for like 15, 20 years already. You know what I'm saying? Like, what? I still owe that?
The littlest things.
Yeah.
But I would say, you know, having a checklist. Actually,
No doubt.
I'm going to, you know, there's a checklist or something that we could provide to help the people for sure.
Oh, of
but
course.
It's about having the right people. Listen, I can't emphasize this enough. Working with the right people, a professional like Carlos and myself, because sometimes people will give you an excuse. You have to go with that gut feeling too. Pray about it, meditate on it, whatever. Like, oh, this isn't attainable, or da da da. Then you find someone else that gets it done.
100%. And you know what? I'll even incentivize, me personally, I'll incentivize this episode. So anybody watching this episode right now that really wants to talk to Alyssa to try to figure out their starting point, I will cover I think you cover the first. Is it the first you cover? How does it work?
Free consultation. After
Free consultation.
I charge by the hour and a half hour, baby.
The next hour, I will cover to get you to the next position. So I don't even know her cost. Whatever it costs, I got you. All right? I mean that.
Well, I appreciate. So you guys have a deal here, but that is all for today's episode.
Doubt. Thank you for having me.
We're going to have a promo code. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thank you so much, Carlos.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you.
You don't need 20%.
You don't need 20%. That's it.
She just said it. See you next
time.
There you go.
Take care. Come on. Come on.